And hello, Stephen Moffat, the
Hello.
boss of the Doctor.
I am the Doctor's boss.
It's so nice to see you both. Isn't
Creator and Lord of all.
it? Lord of all. I mean, and here's the thing. And why don't I start with a question from Mark Gatiss? Mark Gatiss.
No,
Seriously? Yes, he sent a question.
He sent, yeah, because I had
He's a very big Doctor Who fan here.
Yes, I'm seeing
Mark
it.
Gatiss, 11 years old.
Now, Mark Gatiss is he writes some episodes of Doctor Who, and he writes some of Sherlock as well, which of course is also your programme. And I had a text conversation with him this morning, and he sent me a question for Stephen Moffat. So let me read you the Mark Gatiss question.
It better not be hard, Mark.
No, well, it's basically, has anyone ever done the double before? Because you have the big Christmas Day show, and you have the big New Year's Day show, which is Sherlock. Has that ever happened before?
I honestly haven't looked it up, but I'd like to think right now that is true, that I'm the only person who's done that. But in case you get bored between those two shows, you could pop out to the cinema and see Tintin. Just when you think it can't get smugger, I find that extra little bit.
That's it. The big Christmas Day show, the big New Year's Day show, and one of the big films of the year as well. That's great.
We're lucky.
Mark was very keen to say that he thought you didn't get enough kudos. There's another little point that he made.
Oh, bless you, Mark. Thank you.
Now, but anyway, we'll come back to...
You can write some more Doctor Who's, Mark, and some more shows.
Maybe that's what...
You are.
You are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's come back to Sherlock later. Let's talk about... There's so much to talk about here. It's been an exciting week. Where they did like two old episodes of Doctor Who turned up at a car boot sale or something, didn't they?
And also, what a great title, The Underwater Menace.
That's the way to do it, isn't it?
So, I can't wait to see it. Is it? I mean, did they use underwater stuff? And is Troughton underwater?
Well, some of the underwater scenes I haven't actually seen, but there are fish people in it, which is the main thing.
Huge.
And there's a colossal over-the-top villain who does it in a different episode. Actually, say nothing can stop me now, as all villains
So
should.
it's two episodes. Patrick Troughton one, which is called The Underwater Villain.
Which is great fun, yeah.
And this is a William Hartnell episode.
Yes, Galaxy 4, yeah.
Called Galaxy 4.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was part of 4 episodes, wasn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, they both are. They're both segments.
And have you seen either of them all the way through these two new episodes?
No, not at all. No, I might if I'm really, really lucky, get to see it today. But,
This afternoon in the break.
Yeah, because that's what I do in my spare time. When I stop writing Doctor Who momentarily, I nip down to the BBC and watch some old ones.
Although you mentioned about it, because later tonight you're launching, there's a big press launch of the Christmas Day episode of Doctor Who, which I am hosting with you, so I'm interviewing you twice today. So basically this is a rehearsal for later.
Excellent.
Any questions
this show will be available as a live spin-off later.
Yeah. Of course, I should say you can watch this interview online now if you're not attending. You can go to bbc.co.uk/5live and have a look.
Quick, Matt, put your clothes on. Oh, God.
You're an enormous Doctor Who fan and always have been. Does that really excite you, the idea of watching those two old episodes from beginning to end?
Of course, yes. I mean, because I've seen all the other ones. A little bit that's online of Patrick Troughton just being so perfectly funny. He's wonderful. He is wonderful.
He was a brilliant Doctor.
He was an amazing Doctor. Yeah.
So wonderful.
Did you go back, Matt, and look at any of the old Doctor's performances when you were preparing for this role?
Well, I mean, I went back as a fan of the show because I started watching and sort of... I mean, I did it the weird... I saw David the other night, actually.
David Tennant?
Yeah, at Stephen's 50th.
Three doctors at my 50th.
Doctors. We had a photo.
Who's the third? Who was the third?
Peter Davison.
Peter Davison.
Yeah, I know.
And I said to him, "You were my first ever Doctor."
He wept.
He looked aghast, basically. But so I went backwards then. And then I went by Chris, and then just kind of went back, and landed upon Troughton in a sort of very excited way, because I just think he's got that peculiar face, and he's peculiar without ever asking you to find him peculiar, which I think when you're playing the Doctor is an interesting thing to achieve.
So you said to Peter Davison, "You were my first ever Doctor."
No, I said to David Tennant.
You did not.
He did.
Did you?
I did. Yeah.
Stop looking so appalled.
Is that really true?
That's listen. I was part of the barren age when it wasn't on television.
How old are you?
29.
7.
And so.
What year were you born?
1982. I sound like I'm trying to get into a
No, but hang on. When did it get killed off? It's about 89.
89.
And who was it? Was it Colin Baker? Or
No, Sylvester McCoy.
McCoy, yeah.
So you didn't see it. Oh, God, that is David Tennant was your first Doctor Who.
Yeah,
Kind of
because
amazing.
because it was
That was David Tennant's face too. He wasn't looking that thrilled. Yes, thanks, Matt.
Wait, Christopher Eccleston.
Well, no, because David was on the television at the time that I sort of got the part.
Yeah.
So I started watching, and then I got the box sets and started with Chris and watched all the way up to episode 4. I think Chris is a brilliant Doctor as well. He's a fabulous Doctor, so that was my. I read the script of the 11th Hour, which was our first episode, and just went, whoa, this show's amazing. This character's amazing. And because I'd really had that little contact with it.
That's fascinating.
Well, it was Saturday night though, wasn't it? Because you'd be out Saturday night.
Yeah. And sheepishly
doing
now
voluntary
because-
work.
Yeah, exactly. down at the homeless shelter,
Absolutely.
where they serve free beer. No, I'm joking, of course, but
I paid for the beer.
yeah.
But that is your first episode. Because I interviewed you about your first episode. Didn't you? You did a tour of the country on a great big bus. I
We
think.
did. Well, I was talking about that last night actually with my friend Piers, who was the producer on it.
But there's a lovely moment in your first episode of Doctor Who where you see the faces of all the old Doctors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just a magic bit.
Well,
is that your
that's-
idea, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, I came in the audition and sort of said, by the way, I've got a great denouement.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's a great moment of TV.
Isn't it?
I'm very proud of that.
It wasn't in the first draft. I remember just thinking that we needed a sort of big defining moment for the whole scene where he calls the spaceship back and tells them off didn't exist in the first draft, and we thought we hadn't really got a big moment for the new Doctor to say it really is me, settle down. And I wanted some big moment for him to first wear the costume.
I would say, as a Doctor Who fan, curiously moving.
Yeah,
Seeing all the old Doctors.
I watched it about 8 million times when we first got
Did you?
the copy through. I just watched it and watched it. I thought, there he is. He's actually the Doctor now. Oh my goodness.
God, there's so much we want to talk to you about. Well, we're going to take some travel and come back and talk some more.
Okay.
We're getting so many questions. Loads of kids off school sick are texting in.
I'm sick as well, guys. I've just been drinking a drink that I won't name because I don't want to. We can't promote brands, can we? Of course, but it's to get
a
better.
medicinal drink.
Yeah, medicinal drink. So get better soon.
Pepto-Bismol.
Lots of water and go to bed early.
85058 if you'd like to get in touch. Bacon at bbc.co.uk. Matt Smith, the Doctor, and Stephen Moffat, the writer and boss of The Doctor, are both here. And you can see the two, bacon at bbc.co.uk. It's 17 minutes past 2. Matt Smith is here and Stephen Moffat are here. We are discussing the Doctor Who Christmas special, which is on Christmas Day. Is it up against Downton Abbey?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
Phew.
That would be a mess, wouldn't it?
That'd be bad.
What time's it on?
It's on at 7 o'clock.
Okay, 7 o'clock. It's a triumph of an episode. I watched it this morning, Matt.
Did you enjoy?
Yeah, I loved it. It's got a really nice sentimental quality to it. Is that
it's sweet,
important? Is that important for a Christmas Day show, do you think?
Oh, I think so. I think also with the Doctor Who Christmas special gets watched by quite a lot of people who don't normally watch Doctor Who. So in a way you have to go to in a way that simplest, purest version of it. He's a lovely man who sorts things out. But I like sentimental things on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I've got no impulse to subvert it at all. I love the whole thing. I love the snow and people being nice to each other.
Yeah.
And that's gorgeous.
I agree.
And so you saved the complexities for the series.
Well, yeah, to a degree, yeah.
Because there was some discussion, wasn't there, after the last series? Some people said it was too complicated, Matt.
Some people did say that. I mean,
what do you say to those people?
well, not children that I met. Weirdly, some
Yeah.
adults said it. And I mean, listen, people will take from any series what they want. To my mind, and quite interestingly, in America, they embrace the complexities because it has that sort of science fiction culture where they like all those hidden meanings and messages and all the rest of it. But some people say a lot of things.
So it became the thing to say, but the truth is, the assumption that the audience is intelligent has paid off hugely for us, not just on Doctor Who, but also on Sherlock. I'm doing 2 shows that assume the audience is really, really smart, and they're both doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
Maybe the news is that people are clever.
How well does Doctor Who do in America?
It's doing better than ever right now, and I wish I had the figures to hand. That would have been so
Yeah.
impressive.
It's
But
doing really well.
since Matt took over, it's been really, really taken off.
I would
really
imagine
well.
as well. Doctor Who's one of those shows in terms of ratings that you get your overnight figure, and I'm sure it does very well, but it's the sort of program that people will seek out on the likes of the iPlayer or download. I imagine it has a huge secondary audience as well.
Well,
massive.
did you hear about the iTunes thing? It's and this sounds terribly sort of self-promotional, and I don't mean it to, but we were quite excited about it. It's the most downloaded show in the whole world. Above Glee, above Mad Men.
It's above Glee?
It's above Glee, it's above Mad Men.
In American iTunes, it's number one, is Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Doctor Who beats Glee in America on download, on iTunes.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's Glee, it's,
seriously.
that Modern Family, that show. And
you should look at the list of shows that just beaten.
Don't be modest about that. You should be celebrating that.
Well,
we are. We're secretly. He was faking modesty.
Yes.
He's just a good actor.
I know.
Well,
Beats Glee in America.
Yeah, well, on the download front, And here, I mean, yes, it's massive on iPlayer. The catch-up figures in Doctor Who are sort of colossal. And it's one of the interesting things that people sort of want to make particular time to watch it.
Do you think to some extent that sort of overnight figures are dead in a way, as a way of... Because that is presented by newspapers as an absolute figure now, isn't it? They'll say, Doctor Who is down 1 million on last year, without taking into account perhaps the way the audiences consume stuff differently now.
It is changing hugely, particularly with Doctor Who. Something like up to half our audience can come later. Later that week. They won't wait very long, but they will watch it later that week. So yes, of course it's changing. The data transmission is becoming like the data publication. That's when it's available. You choose your moment to watch it. People tend to watch Doctor Who either as families or in groups of friends. So they wait till they're all together to see it. It is changing in that way, and it won't change back. The papers will report that story that it's going down because the alternative story is this, and it's really, really boring. The ratings have barely changed since it came back in Britain. Barely changed.
Is that true?
Yeah.
The papers report it because it's a bit more complex to explain the reality, I suppose, isn't it? And
yes.
But do you get frustrated when the papers say things like, it's down 1 million year on year, or whatever the claim is?
I suppose, yes, but I suppose the day I'll know we're in trouble is when they don't say that we're in trouble. It sells papers to say that Doctor Who's got a problem. I suppose it isn't much of a news story to say Doctor Who carries on doing perfectly well, thank you.
We've got loads and loads of texts. Let me read some out. This is from Luke. No, this is from Matt. No, it's from Luke to Matt. What would you like to see happen in the 50th anniversary show, and what baddies would you wish to tackle? Now the 50th anniversary, is that next year?
No, it's the year after. It's 2013.
2013, okay.
Well, it's a very exciting prospect, but sadly, I am not privy to that part of the conversation. I mean, we want to make it spectacular, whatever we do. I don't know what that is yet, Luke, but we want to make it an event, and an event to remember for Who fans worldwide, So, I mean, what that will be, it's quite a way off yet, and we've got a lot of development and a long way to go.
Would you mind me? I've actually got an idea.
Okay, go.
Would you mind if I pitch this idea to you, Stephen?
Okay.
You may already have thought of it, because it is excellent. So here's the thing. As I understand it, Doctor... It's always good to praise an idea of yours with, this is excellent.
Yeah, right, it's good. Saves us the trouble of having an opinion of it.
It's like to self-review your own ideas. As I understand it, the first ever Doctor Who in 1963 was broadcast the day after JFK was assassinated. Is that true?
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, the two facts are not connected. I'd just like to clear his name on that.
But this is where they become connected. Stephen Moffat, head writer of Doctor Who. The special, the 2013 special, as in reference to people who know the history of Doctor Who and know that fact, the Doctor should go back to Dallas, 1963. And I've had this other little idea, that he goes through some like time vortex, those things the Doctor does.
Sure.
And then he goes into like a parallel world where David Tennant is as the Doctor, so that they could meet in the special episode, and maybe David Tennant's Doctor.
What happened to Kennedy?
Yeah. Well, then at the assassination, because remember there's the magic bullet, and you've got Lee Harvey Oswald in the book tower or whatever it was, the book depository. But there was rumours of a second person behind the grassy knoll. Maybe that could be something to do with the Doctor or David Tennant as the Doctor.
Also, the Doctor killed Kennedy.
Well, I don't. I mean, look, Matt. There's a lot to be shaded in here.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there's some detail.
I'm finding
he went back to Dallas
in the plot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he just wear a cowboy hat?
I don't.
I like the bit where the Doctor goes back to Dallas, 1963, and just David Tennant just appears, like he adheres to him. Think, oh hello, this is a surprise.
But all I'm saying is, I'm giving you the constituent parts as a gift, as my gift to you. You now need to go and do all the hard work.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
That's my pleasure.
I think we should end it with him saving Kennedy and just let history sort it.
Yeah.
Yeah.